What's up, internet friends? Fraud here. Excited for this one today. It's gonna be really long though, I'm just gonna tell you straight up now. Very exciting. Newest internet historian video, which is gonna be real fun. Love this guy. This dude's stuff is freaking awesome. If you don't know who he is, check him out. We'll put a link in the description below. Awesome content creator. Top 5 on YouTube. Top 5 on YouTube. Easy for me. Easy, easy, easy. His humor is straight up my alley. Guy's super funny. Puts a lot of work into his videos. Super awesome, man. So without further ado, let's roll into it, because this is a 50-minute video. So we're going to be here a minute.
Game everyone loves.
Scientists are racing to unlock the secrets of the cosmos. Questions we once thought impossible to answer are within our grasp. Where does the sun go at night?
Is math related to science?
If the universe is so big, then
Is
why won't
99
it
the
fight
biggest
me?
number, dude? Why wouldn't it
As we
fight
look
me?
further into the universe, we see light from distant stars, eons old, perhaps hundreds, even thousands of miles away. Hold on, can I get a zoom in on that?
You bet I can. This is one of the world's most powerful telescopes. Initiating 6 times zoom.
Can this baby do 7?
I can do you one better. Maneuvering to 8 times zoom.
Pressure rising, holding steady. I can see it.
So
Over.
fucking stupid.
It won't hold.
Get me 8.5 times.
You're a madman.
Upscale it to 4K.
The helium tank will go critical.
Opening the blind. Hold her steady. Uncropping and increasing aspect ratio. Now, punch it. There it is. Life on another world.
Oh, man. I never played this fucking game. I never
We
played
owe
this
it
game,
all
dude.
to one indie development studio.
Thank God, too.
Hello Games.
Yeah, I made sure to strategically avoid this game at all costs. Man.
Let's start at the beginning.
The hype train.
Yeah, it's rewind time. Okay, the year is 2009, Guildford, England. There's a man named Sean Murray, and he's just founded a company called Hello Games.
Sean and the boys are working hard on a brand
Lads.
new IP called Joe Danger.
Hey, I know that game.
2010 AD. The game just came out. It's a success.
They're a small team, but they are ambitious.
Let's do something bigger, said Sean. Let's reach for the stars.
Oh no, we already know where it's
How about
going,
Joe Danger
dude.
2. Brilliant. It's 2012. Joe Danger 2 has just come out.
But that one doesn't perform as well.
We need to do something even bigger than Joe Danger 2. Joe Danger 3?
I love the freaking his list.
Even
Read the
more
list when you get a chance
out
on
of
the
this
on the
world.
thing. It's really funny.
Something no man has done before?
Joe Danger the mobile game?
Yes! And that came out in 2014. Seriously, guys, biggest thing you can think of.
I'm just a stock image, dude. Why don't you think of something?
Sean pondered for a moment, then turned and looked wistfully into the mirror. Reflected back was the visage of Neil deGrasse Tyson.
If
Oh
you're going
my
to make
God,
a space
dude.
game, first person, have never been done before. How about that? I'm going up in orbit to the Hubble telescope. So that's not a knife. Who are you going to have sex with? How much microwaves are coursing
Oh
through your
my
body?
God, dude.
The planet, said Murray. Space game. Procedural generation. Planet. Okay, that sounds good. Yes, we all agree. So they set to work, cobbled together a prototype, and by VGX 2013, they are ready to announce another new IP.
No Man's Sky. Check it out. Check it out.
Oh man, I remember this too, dude. I fucking remember this. I remember this, man. People were freaking out. The hype train was so real. I haven't seen a hype train this real in a long time. I mean, it may not have been after this shit, but people were wet, dude. They were wet for this shit. True.
It's
Very
2014,
true.
And it's E3 hype time.
Yep.
No Man's Sky has promised to be a game like no other. A practically boundless experience vibrant with life and color and things to explore.
Gotta
What's
love the
over there?
promises.
You'll have to be the one to discover it. And then, wow, look at that big f***ing dinosaur, holy shit. And a moment later, we're in space, having a battle amongst a giant fleet. Claim a planet as your own. Explore the galaxy with your friends.
Okay, that's it. This is gonna be the best game ever, you guys. It even won awards for its hype. And it will release in June 2016.
Oh goodness gracious, that should have been who we knew,
The
dude.
hype train was officially loading up
Yup.
and ready to chug out of the station.
We should have known, guys.
At
We
every
really
stop
should have
of the
known.
journey, there would be press junkets talking about the amazing scale of the game, spread across 18 quintillion planets. It's
This
so
beat is a
vast
banger,
that by
bro.
the time you finish exploring it all, I would have 2 new videos published. Sean himself was doing the interviews, because who is better to talk about the game than the lead guy himself? He went from interview to interview, and with each question, the answers he gave raised people's expectations of the game's scope.
John.
Can you land on a comet?
Yeah, at the moment you can land on asteroids. You could encounter other players.
Can you grief other players?
A little bit.
They're literally building your own, like, massively multiplayer world that's procedurally generated.
Sand planets like in June. Rivers. Walking sentinels. Hacking. So sophisticated that light diffracts through
Was
the
that fucking
atoms.
Jarvis?
They had to redevelop the whole
Phase
periodic
Jar-
table to make it work.
What?
Even Elon Musk was hyped for it.
2 years go by. It's early 2016, and that hype train is really moving now. Perhaps
Fucking
one of the
Thanos.
biggest in video game history. Reddit was shoveling most of the gamer fuel.
Yup.
Skeptics and naysayers are treated as ballast and thrown from the carriage doors. Pre-orders open, and they are doing very well. The date is booked in. Some are even taking the day off work. So much hype there is that... Uh-oh. Jason Schreier
Uh-oh.
of the soon-to-be defunct Kotaku is about to spoil the party.
Almost
He
like
announces a delay. From June 2016...
almost like it can
August.
never meet the hype, guys.
Oh my god.
Liar, the incensed audience cries. Please be quiet, they said. And death threats, too. But he was 100% right. A week later, the delay is officially announced.
Yup.
Ooh, sorry, lads, we need more polish, said Sean in his usual accent. To that, Sean received some death threats too, by the way, although he didn't take them as seriously or go to the police. Yet.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
But the impatient crowd relaxed a bit and said,
Oh, internet.
fine, we will wait. But we expect a level of polish no man has ever seen.
Oh my god. Can we just
Speaking of waiting,
hold up? Don't worry,
Shit.
bro. We'll play your ad. Can I need to see that again.
but we expect a level of polish no man has ever seen.
Okay. Continue.
Speaking of waiting, Shadow Man here. Have you heard of Raidy Shady?
No, I haven't.
They
Tell
died
me.
In a plane crash.
Oh, wow.
Hey, let's get serious for a moment. Raid isn't just a game with 15 million downloads in the last 6
Tell me about
months.
it.
It's a lifestyle. Think differently. Play Raid differently. Achieve your dreams. I'm sorry, sir. You've contracted Raid. That's good. Congratulations, it's Gorgorub of the Undead Horde.
My life for Nezul.
You just collected one of over 400 champions.
Dude, this is the
Why,
best ad
I knew
ever,
that.
bro. It really
Have you
is.
heard
He does the
about
best
online
fucking ads
RPG
for them.
PvP? It's extremely well reviewed on the Play Store. Oh, you remind me of my wife. Raid is more than just a
What?
game. It's a reassuring pat on the back from your dad. It's a warm bowl of soup on a cold night.
Ew.
It's one last dance at your wife's funeral. If you haven't played in the arena yet, I'm gonna break into your house. You're all getting Raid for Christmas, kids. Yay! And if you download now, kids, using the link in the description below, you can get an extra 50k silver and an epic champion. Wow, you're the best dad ever. Wait, Mum's dead?
Braid Shadow Legends.
Ad over.
Oh my god,
So
amazing,
let's talk
amazing.
about the team in charge of all that
10 out of
polishing.
10.
It's small. Tiny. In fact, I haven't been able to find a smaller team behind a AAA release. All of these expectations are on the shoulders of just 6 people,
Yup.
expanding to a team of 15 by the end of production. July. It's just a couple of weeks until the release date. Whatever the state of the game by now, however much it's finished, that's what's going out.
Oh goodness.
The Hello Games team celebrates with this iconic image.
The quintessential soy face.
They're exhausted. Look at what video game production does to a man.
God, what's wrong with your face?
Nonetheless, they continue, working on the day 1 patch, and... Uh-oh. Sean, if your game isn't coming out for another 2 weeks, then why is there a box copy on eBay? That's right. It's a leak. Someone broke the embargo and is selling early access to the highest bidder. And the bids start rolling in.
Oh my god.
It
I did not
reaches
know about this, dude.
$1,300 US.
I did not know about this.
Sold to some guy with the Reddit handle Damien.
Dumbass.
He gets his hands on it and starts uploading footage to YouTube and Dailymotion.
What the frick?
Said Sean and Sony. Damien finished it a lot quicker than expected, but he gave it a decent review.
There are things I don't like, there are things I like, but at the end of the day, when I say to myself, what is this game supposed to be? This, what I'm looking at right here, this is what the game is supposed to be.
Yikes.
He noted a few problems,
Yikes.
but said he was optimistic that they would be ironed out with the day 1 patch. Sean? It's another leak. Some retailers broke the official release date, journalists too, and they started streaming playthroughs of the game. What the fuck? Sony tried to DMCA all these videos, but their aim was terrible.
Round of applause, everyone.
That's surprising that they couldn't DMCA them all.
Censored by Sony.
Oh, there it is. I was gonna say.
No Man's Sky Leaks has been hit with a copyright strike on YouTube.
Yeah, I was gonna
Moving
say.
around from platform to platform, just taking down any video that even talked about the leak or showed the trailer footage.
Sounds about right.
But it was too late. The footage had people talking more skeptically about the game. Especially because there were no early review copies.
That's bad.
And it was looking like the weight of all these expectations had become too much. And the whole thing was about to give.
Oh my god.
Oh no. It's August. Everyone's here. We've all bought the game and we're fucking hyped. Here we go.
Here we go, boys.
Oh dear lord, it isn't finished. Hello, Sean. It is me, the auditor of games. I used to work at an astronomy lab. Don't worry about that. It seems like you've made a lot of promises. Promises that you have not kept. Let's go through the checklist. Have you got any large-scale joinable space battles?
Nope.
Nobody would want that. No.
Nope.
No.
Fine. Well, at least let me play as a trader.
Negative.
Some may call this junk. Me, I call them...
No.
Those sand planets from June look nice. Think I might... Please, Sean, there must be rivers.
No. No.
Animals interact with each other in the environment?
No. No.
Packs of walking sentinels, Sean.
No.
Nope.
I'm literally crying right now. Should I even ask whether I can play as a space pirate?
No.
Factions with different attributes.
You picked the wrong house, fool! Oh!
Fly between star systems manually.
But nobody's actually done it yet.
If I can maneuver like in the trailer, I'll still be happy.
No.
Well, day-night cycles determined by the orbit of the sun.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh.
No.
No.
Land on an asteroid, radio chat, name your ship, hacking, portals, all that stuff about the elements, Sean.
No.
This is not good, Sean. This is very not good.
And ironically, the only bugs this game doesn't have are the butterflies in the demo.
Oof. What a banger.
Buried buildings, aggressive emojis, tractor beam malfunction,
Aggressive
animal
emojis.
husbandry, oil slick world, raining grass, retarded animals doing
What?
retarded things. Ships' interiors disappear, first person mode as a gun. That's not how flying works. That's my only means of transportation, leaving the planet. Take off. Really take off. Holes in the map. Holes in my graphics card. Whole lot of nothing from down here. Textures bugging out. Animals bugging out. Animals breakdancing. Look at these busy hands. Hello there. And a couple of unrequested ejector seats.
Yeet.
Okay, that's a lot of stuff. I get the picture. No, wait. Poor
Now
graphics
more.
rendering.
Show me
Some
more.
can't even start
Show
the
me
game.
more.
Frame rate issues, constant crashes. Major publications are
Show
having trouble
me
playing
more.
the game on their machines. Even the best 1080 Ti's are stuttering. Alt-tabbing? That's a guaranteed crash.
Yup.
Desktop notifications? That's a crash. Playing the game?
Stop
That's
it.
a crash. Changing options in the game without restarting? You'll get this. And if you got the pre-order version with the bonus spaceship, you might have a problem. Your special ship already comes with a hyperdrive inside it.
Ooh.
Great, right? No, because you have to craft it in
No.
order to finish the tutorial missions. And if you haven't finished the tutorial missions, you can't leave the star system. So whoops, until they patch it, you're stranded.
That's why I give my kids No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky.
Ah, my ship's in bits!
Hi, Jack. Bye, Jack.
Okay, thank you.
Just a quick note about how high expectations were for this game, and just how many people bought it on release, myself included.
Oh, rip.
Over
Rip,
three-quarters
rip, rip.
of a million purchases on Steam at launch. It's the single best-selling game on the PlayStation Store that month. And the large proportion of people who bought it in the hopes of playing with their friends,
Nope.
well, you're in for a surprise. This one is a literal game changer.
Is it even possible to meet up with your friends in No Man's Sky? The answer is absolutely yes, it's possible.
On multiple occasions, Sean said it was definitely in the game.
Will you be able to play with your friends?
Yeah.
Can you run into other people, other players on the game?
Yes.
But then just before the release,
Oof.
Sean posted this cryptic tweet.
To be super clear, No Man's Sky
Oh
is
my
not
God,
a
dude.
multiplayer game.
Yikes.
Please don't go in looking
Yikes.
for that experience.
Oh, what? So there's no multiplayer function. But then the next line
But you said-
contradicts that.
Because the chances of two players ever crossing paths in a universe this big is pretty much zero.
Oh, so it is multiplayer. You just have to overcome this finding each other hurdle.
So you're telling me there's a
So you're saying...
Yeah! Right?
No,
No.
it's more confusing than that.
No.
Because the box doesn't mention online play,
Nope.
just network features. And the collector's edition had its online play icon stickered over. So customers are going, which one is it, Sean? Just tell us if it has multiplayer or it doesn't have multiplayer. Sean wouldn't give any answers. But after hundreds of thousands of purchases, people soon took it upon themselves to find out. Despite the claims that it would be so improbable,
Chances of that are incredibly rare, just because of the size and probability.
on the very first day, two people noticed they were only 4 star systems from one another, and they met up on the same planet in a live stream. Oh dear.
That's pretty fucking sick, actually.
Our streams are exactly lined up. If you go look at my stream, we're looking at the exact same area right now. If you don't move.
Oh, so they didn't actually.
It's the same spot, and they can't see each other.
That's a rip, dude.
That settles it. It's not multiplayer because it's so big.
It's just not multiplayer.
It's not multiplayer because it's just not fucking multiplayer.
Oh
And this led
no.
to quite a revolt.
Oh
What
no.
did
No
Sean
man
have to say
lies,
about it?
boys.
So amazing, 2 people found each other on the first day.
That has blown my mind.
So why can't we see other players in game?
Wow, so many of you playing.
Yeah, Sean, but what?
Truly amazing. My mind is blown.
He's gone, boys. He's gone.
So what's the game actually like then?
Is it any good? That is a difficult thing to say.
Well,
That's the question.
it certainly is stylish and pretty, and there are a lot of places to explore. But that doesn't mean there's much to find. In fact, the game boils down to a very simple loop. Hold down the trigger to pick up resources, deal with a full inventory, get an upgrade, leave the planet, go to another planet. Hold down the trigger, deal with a full inventory, get an upgrade, leave the planet, go to another planet.
Sounds
Hold
boring
down
as
the trigger,
fuck,
deal with
boys.
a full
That sounds
inventory,
so fucking
leave
boring. I'm
the
glad I
planet,
never played this
go
game.
to another planet, deal with a full inventory, get an upgrade, leave the planet, go to another planet. That's it. $60, ladies and gentlemen.
Should have just played
Refuel your
Subnautica.
multi-tool, refuel your life support, refuel a separate part of your multi-tool that shoots bullets instead
Should have
of
played
the mining
Subnautica.
beam, refuel your launch thrusters. It's busy work that makes it look like you have something to do. It's not real.
How dare you?
What followed was one of the most dramatic crashes in player numbers in gaming history. Sales in the UK fell by 81% in the second week. Concurrent players on Steam dropped from 212,000 in August to just over 2,000 by September and fewer than 1,000 by October.
And what followed that was perhaps the biggest pylon in gaming history.
Very true. Very true.
Reviewers on YouTube
It was literally like everybody was talking about it.
You done fucked it up!
I had no hype, and I can tell you that, even without that disappointment, this game is hot garbage.
Has anyone coined Sean Murray new yet?
Numerous times within the first 2 hours of the game, I kept saying, this is it? Fuck this shit.
Reviewers in the media were almost as harsh.
Devastating realization that most of the crafting, combat, and other activities you do on and between those planets ranges between bemusing and outright bad.
The criticism was deafening. And a lot of it really funny and creative. Cat made a video that captured the sentiment of that day, and if you haven't seen it yet, you're missing out.
I'll go watch
So
that.
people are furious. The game is boring, and soon people discover that complaining about the game is actually more fun than playing it.
Wait, I'm now 3.5 hours into the tutorial, pretty much.
So they started complaining about it like they were grinding for an achievement.
This sucks. Fucking Minecraft in space.
Many people made compilations of
Pookie.
the unfulfilled promises. One guy on the subreddit compiled a big list of all the missing features. Front page. Got a defense for No Man's Sky? Enjoy your downvote. In fact, the entire No Man's Sky subreddit was in such disarray it had to be locked.
Yikes, dude. Locking the
So by the
subreddit.
end of the month, Metacritic was like scrolling through a bowl of Cheerios. By October, it was one of the worst rated games on Steam, with an aggregate of mostly negative from more than 70,000 reviews.
Wowzers, dude.
The outrage at the game was headline news for weeks on dozens of games news publications. And the price on eBay and Amazon and secondhand at GameStop
Oh my
was
god.
crashing through the floor.
Jeez. That's
Please,
crazy.
No more. But the beatings had only just begun. The demo planet was data mined and found to be, of course, totally scripted and not randomly generated at all.
I just gotta pick
That feels
one of these
really
at
bad,
random.
man.
If anything horrible goes wrong, just keep in mind that I've not been here before.
It wasn't some level that we built or something like that, even though I think it looks quite nice in places.
People watching this would wonder why you're showing this area again. Like, what's so special about demoing the game on this planet?
Oh, no, it's just a place that looks nice.
No. Bad Murray.
I could have ended the demo with some, pre-scripted crazy thing that would happen. You know what I mean? The normal thing of like, and then a monster emerges from behind the mountains,
Oh my god, dude, he's such a
People
liar,
see what's going
bro.
on with the game and feel lied to. This is false advertising, they say, and angry customers start scoping out a lawsuit. On September 28th,
Yeah,
the
for
ASA
real, this
busts
dude's
through the
getting
door and
sued.
goes,
Easy,
"Yep,
easy,
too many
easy
complaints.
lawsuit.
We're going to investigate." But then soon after, the ASA cleared them of any legal wrongdoing.
Oof.
Technically, the only thing they're interested in is what's on the back of the box, what's on the store page, and what's on the Steam
That's
page.
fair, I guess.
So it's technically not false advertising.
Yeah, that's why they got the.
But
That's
of
why they got the
course,
Fallout Bethesda
technically not
guys.
illegal doesn't mean much to an angry audience. October 28th, Hello Games Twitter is hacked.
Yes,
Hacker posted,
yes.
No Man's Sky was a mistake, and is
Yes.
shitting on the game in the replies. Turns out Sean didn't use two-factor authentication on his LinkedIn, and that's how they got in. They also sent discrediting emails to journalists, which they knew would rile people up if published. Some people even show up to their offices to take photos and knock on the door, even at night and on the weekend. They posted empty pictures of the office, so naturally out of context,
What the
this
fuck?
started rumors that Hello Games simply took the money and ran. This in addition to
What the
numerous bomb
fuck?
death
It's
threats
so
during the
hurt,
period.
dude. That's so
Those
hurt.
ones Sean did have to take seriously.
Regular intervention from police and Scotland Yard and things like that.
And while Sony didn't quite throw them under the bus, it was more like a gentle push under a minivan when Sony president Shohei Yoshida admitted that Hello Games did not have a great PR strategy for No Man's Sky. The press took the ball with that one.
Papa
Right.
Sony.
But despite all of this, all of the negative press, they were actually nominated for a couple of awards.
Oh my
but
god.
by this point,
how?
Murray and the other members of Hello Games were so downtrodden.
I was gonna
and
say,
so
man,
sure
I'd
they
be
weren't going to win.
insanely
that they opted
depressed.
to go elsewhere for dinner.
And then they win.
And the Innovation Award goes to
They didn't even show up for their own award.
No Man's Sky.
Ooh. No, dude.
This lovely trophy going once.
Whoops.
I'm going to accept this on the behalf of Hello Games, and congratulations to them. And I'm going to walk off stage like I planned that whole thing.
Damn, dude.
By this point, you've got to feel just a little bit sorry.
Man.
And then what followed that was the final straw for many. No particular incident, but a lack of incidents. Silence.
Yo, lack of content.
Over 3 months of not a damn word from
Oh, they just literally didn't have any PR.
Where are they? Where is my refund? Where is Murray? Shouted into the void. The game was over. And it was dead.
Hello, cat. Gotta go deeper, boys. We gotta go deeper.
The year is 2000 AD. Sean has just graduated
Oh, hey, I
from
was live then.
university and is headed into the big wide world. He rises up the ranks at a number of studios, eventually working as a technical lead for Black and technical director for Burnout 3. When Burnout's developer is bought by EA, he is in his late 20s. And he and 3 of his buddies decide to leave and start their own studio, Hello Games. This was a risky venture.
So we'd done this incredibly foolish thing of like quitting our jobs, and then we had to sit down and try and decide what the game was going to be.
Together they create their first title, Joe Danger. They work on this game day and night. In fact, even once they were arrested in their own office because the police thought they were there to rob the place.
That's
because
funny.
who would be working at 11
I mean, props.
PM
I mean,
on a
we
Sunday?
shit on them, but props to them. They did make one good
But
game.
they had to work that hard. Like any startup,
Yeah.
it was a huge financial and professional risk. They had no income. They were working in a tiny room above an old tile shop, living off savings. And to keep the project running, Sean even sold his house.
Damn, what a
So
baller, bro.
We made a really tough and probably at the time seemed really foolish decision. It's kind of almost embarrassing for me to talk about. I sold my house and just basically went all in and funded what we were doing, which is not something I would recommend.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man. I mean, way to bet on yourself, though.
2010, they had done it.
Because your
The
first game was a hit, so yeah, there you go.
And they could breathe a sigh of relief because on the very first day it hit the PlayStation Store, they made their money back. 2 years later, Joe Danger 2
Nice.
was released. It was not the commercial success
I'm
they
guessing
hoped
he's
for,
gonna say that they got
and they didn't
lazy.
want to just keep pumping out sequels. That was a trap big players in the industry had fallen into. In his spare time, Sean started working on a prototype for a procedurally generated game. They took another gamble and scrambled to get a trailer out in time to present at VGX 2013. So the project is official now, and the pressure is on. Around this time, Sean is also looking to start a family. Current to all this development,
Oh my
he would
God.
go on to have 3 kids. So the weight of responsibility is really piling on.
Guy
But
bit off
their
more than he
hard
could
work
chew.
will pay off,
Easy,
As
dude.
they're finally going to have a chance for some R&R around Christmas.
Nope. No, you won't.
They woke up to find their homes flooded, their cars submerged, and their plans for Christmas Day very much ruined.
Bad news. Rain. Rain and flooding in the south of England, right around the Hello Games office. They are completely inundated, and they return from their holidays to find laptops floating around.
Oh man,
at
that
waist
fucking
height.
dude, that blows. That
But
blows.
some good news. They hadn't lost any data. So they pull together. Soldier on. Development continues. So there they are, working in a damp office, and then ding dong. Ooh, who's at the door? It's Danish mathematician Dr. Johan Geller. He's seen the game, and he says, "They are using my super formula," in perfect English, and there is a potential for a lawsuit. Sean says they didn't, and he can prove it. So they have a meeting, and the claim is eventually dropped. Lawsuit evaded. Back to work, guys. Ding dong. It's Sky Television. They've seen the game.
No
You're
Man's Sky.
infringing on our Sky trademark.
Jesus, man, these
Said
people
in
come at them.
text-to-speech, they had succeeded in getting Microsoft to change SkyDrive to OneDrive, and they were about to give gamers No Man's 1 under threat of lawsuit. But this lawsuit
That's stupid
didn't
as
just
hell,
go
dude.
away. The threat loomed over them for the next 3 years.
That's crazy, dude.
Right up until the month before release. So they get back
That's
to work
so
and
crazy.
ding dong.
Sky, go chill out, bro.
It's Sony with some good news for once. We like your game, kid. We want to feature it front and center and make you a big star.
Make you a star,
This
kid.
would mean millions of dollars in additional revenue. They said, yeah. But along with it, a lot of press for this game would need to be done. Being a small team, they didn't have anyone for PR. They had their designers.
They had
and
him
their
do it, and he
developers,
wasn't ready
and
to
that
do
was
it.
about it. So it's
Oh man, poor guy, man. This poor guy.
Sean's in his early 30s.
You already know where the story is going. We shit on him too much. We shit on this guy
and
when he didn't deserve it.
for this type of media circuit. This deal with Sony put extra pressure on them. It set deadlines. It's not that it's Sony's fault, but they're locked in now with much less flexibility. So when May rolls around and they have no option but to delay, even if they wanted to ask for an extra 6 to 12 months of development, which they really need, it's probably too much to ask for. So they extend from late June to August. Only 6 weeks.
It's not enough. Yep,
From here,
not nearly enough.
You can predict what's going to happen to multiplayer and a bunch of other promised features.
Yep.
So here's how the hype happened.
He just said yes to too many
Scope of
things.
Game. Time. And here's the line which shows the reality of development. Progress is steady.
And then
ends
whoosh!
in August 2016. Now here is the line of player expectations. It should start out here and follow along the purple. But the overhyping trailer comes out and puts us way up here. In this trailer, it features a bunch of things that Hello Games thinks they're capable of having in the game by 2016.
Nope.
That's the first big mistake. Then it's announced for PlayStation and it costs $60 and there's a collector's edition. Second, even bigger mistake. That puts us all the way up here. And I think this is the main problem. Because price tags set expectations.
That is very true. Very, very true.
For a $60 game, this was seriously barren and disappointing.
Very true.
Now, if they had put it out for $20 as an indie game or an alpha, no problem. But when they gave it the AAA...
That is a hot take right there. That is a good take.
Rightfully aligned their expectations with other games in that category. That is the main reason customers' expectations were so skewed. Then Murray went to interviews, exacerbating the problem. Every time he mentioned a feature in the game, even in passing, fans set their expectations to AAA heights for that feature.
This is a fantastic video
So
already.
I think the interviews are the main
Just by the way,
problem.
this is fantastic.
In my humble opinion, not so much. Most people never saw these interviews. It's not that rickety 12-foot ladder.
We saw them
he's
after the
standing
fact.
on that's the main problem. It's the 900-foot building he's perched it on in the first place. So the obvious solution here would be an official statement. Hey guys, look, don't expect a 10 out of 10. Expect more of a 5 out of 10. No, the publisher just sank an enormous investment of marketing and opportunity into the game.
What's wrong with you?
And that would be a huge
It's a
middle
Nintendo guy.
The publisher isn't going to make you hype the shit out of your game, but you can't talk it down either. So, he's kind of stuck up there.
Yeah, you're
In
pretty
some ways,
fucked.
during the interview, he tries to temper expectations, but it's limited.
Can you build a space station?
No.
But let's not gloss over the interviews.
He
Sean is
definitely
a
still,
technical guy.
yeah, he definitely still
He's a
said some
developer.
stuff he shouldn't have
He's
said.
also the introverted type. And the big lights and the stuff on camera does not come naturally to him.
Is it super nerve-wracking to talk on stage at E3?
Yes. Yes.
I can imagine.
I personally find
going on stage at E3 like the hardest thing I've ever done. That's something that I would have had in a nightmare before. You know what I mean? It's
Literally
that
the
kind of,
Mega introvert.
yeah.
Still, he stepped up and took interviews for his game from 2013 to 2016. And the main thing people wanted to hear about were the features.
Can you have more than...
So every planet, will there be wormholes?
Right.
At what point do you get points or anything?
From these interviews, people took Sean to be a liar, a Peter Molyneux or a chess club member out to sell his game at whatever reputational cost. But I think the truth is more complicated than that.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that
Sean and the
sentiment.
team are indie developers working on a new IP.
This is not
Their
the
project and plans are
the
constantly
Fallout
being
situation,
fast.
right?
They have no idea how large chunks of the game are going to look, especially not a couple of years out from release. And crucially, Sean doesn't understand that something mentioned in 2013, even said in passing, is going to be seen as a promise in the year 2016.
Feels bad,
If IBM
man.
decided to cut it from the game. For example, orbiting around the sun.
Day has turned it out because the planet has actually rotated on its axis.
This originally was in the game, but it caused the player too much confusion. It kept being reported as a bug in the beta, as people left the planet and then returned to find everything different. But nonetheless, into the lying compilation it goes. So while they're still essentially formulating the game, the media all want a piece of Sean and to report on features first. Conversely, Sean thinks the reporters might help him to temper down things by emphasizing
Nope.
that Hello Games
They will
is
not.
an indie studio.
They will not. They will hype.
Journalism
Nope,
is done.
that's not how it's done.
This is how journalism is done.
Can you customize the look of your character?
Sort of.
Full customization confirmed in
That's pretty accurate.
periodic table to create atmospheric particles that would diffract light at just the right wavelength.
Told you.
The press kind of operates downstream from the community because things are click-driven as to what stories you get served and things like that. But a rumor would surface from Reddit straight to the front page.
There's all this hype, and the project has increased in scope dramatically and keeps increasing as the months go by until a point. They are close to the deadline and have to delay. And the reality of what they can achieve in the little time
It hits them
remaining
real
is
hard.
staring them in the
Yeah,
face.
just not gonna be good enough.
They know they're not going to be putting out a finished game.
Yeah, that sucks,
They're
man.
worried.
That feels really bad.
nothing more
I
they
feel
can
for them now, in
And the
hindsight.
fear that they will disappoint the audience is growing on Sean and the team.
Still though, paid $60 for that. I'd be mad too. I didn't pay
I-
$60, but if I did, I'd be
worry
mad.
about, like, disappointing people.
Upon release, all of these clips are seen as proof that Sean is a liar. And what doesn't help is his body language. I mean, it's kind of the body language of someone who is lying. And this is why I mentioned he's an introvert.
Yeah,
Meaning
he's
that
just
a
super uncomfortable, man. He's just
actually a
super
really good one,
uncomfortable.
but not a salesman. Cut him just a little bit of slack, because this is simply how he talks. Here are some innocuous questions, and he answers them honestly.
Lead producers on No Man's Sky.
Yeah, I guess I'm a developer on it. I suppose the creator or something like that.
No, I really like making games. I don't necessarily love talking about making games.
I think you did a good job,
Even
Sean, don't
though,
worry.
even though, you know, you guys are very nice.
Mate, seriously.
You can tell he's
Same body
struggling. Yeah,
language.
just
And
an
he's
awkward guy,
set him
man.
Up on stage and in front of cameras and bright lights and on the goddamn Colbert Report.
Yeah, I can
But
only
he didn't
imagine,
know about
dude.
that. Nonetheless, free of that context, the clips have him cemented in the community as a liar. So the graph plays out right to release. And that graph, it's actually a track. And that track is what the hype train runs on. So it comes barreling up the hill. Instead of neatly pulling into the station, it
My
comes
cat is
crashing
being a
right
nerd.
through the roof. The disaster unfolds. They are absolutely shit on.
True.
So there was Sean and
True.
Hello Games,
They were shit on forever,
surrounded by
dude.
the rubble of their former reputation. Punished Sean was at his lowest point, hated by the majority of the
Same.
gaming community. But they were still alive, and they had made tens of millions of dollars.
Very true.
They were left with two choices.
Give
Take
the money back.
Start a new project and be a pariah, a cautionary tale of the industry and hated by the gaming community forever. Or pick themselves up, get back to work, and with potentially no profit motive, finish the game.
That's what they did,
People
right?
allowed me to do something that I've always done in difficult times.
Because they
Whether it's
updated it like
crappy
crazy,
bosses
right?
that I've dealt
It's
with
still a bad
before,
game, but
or crappy situations at school growing up. I got my head down, I sat in front of a computer, and I made games, which is what I enjoy.
They picked number 2. So, here's the plan. The team is assigned to fixing bugs and the most obvious problems. Go. Sean tells the team to stop reading all the overwhelmingly negative feedback on the game.
It's work,
and
man.
He routes all of it to his personal devices. Emails, forum posts, Google News alerts, player feedback, it's all going directly to him now. Then he starts breaking that down into data sets. People who haven't bought the game, people who have bought it and played it for 100 hours,
People memeing.
people who have returned it, etc. Then he starts compiling those complaints into usable data, focusing on the people with the most sincere experience of the game. Then we start making a big laundry list of all the things that need adding.
important, right? What is the priorities?
First thing to fix is that full inventory. Then community mod support. Then a third thing, etc., etc. This is going to take an enormous amount of work to pull off, and they're not going to make the same mistake twice.
Yeah,
so they would need
they have
to
to grind
sharply
super
adjust
hard.
their PR strategy. Anything they said right now, an admission of guilt,
I've made a severe,
would be met with criticism. Denial, it's not that bad, would be met with criticism.
Just don't say shit, man.
Corporate
Just
speak.
don't talk.
Well, we endeavored to make the best game we could, and we are proud of what we have. Would be met with criticism. Half of the problems.
You just shut up
were
and work,
caused by
right?
Speaking too much. So they were going to do a complete 180. Instead of adding more fuel to the fire, instead of accidentally promising fixes that might also not be delivered, they wouldn't speak to the press again.
Female traits you're talking about, I'd say that's a generalization, but you...
They were going to speak to the community directly from now on.
That's fucking funny, man.
So they told the audience they were working on it and went completely silent. 1 day passed. No word. 2 days. A week. Have you heard from Hello Games? They just had this disastrous release. No, haven't seen them. I hope they're working on the game. 2 weeks. Dude, are you working on this thing? Just ignore them. Just work. 3 weeks. Okay, what the fuck is going on?
WTF, it's locked.
A month. They took the fucking money and ran, didn't they? Don't say anything, it's not going to help. 2 months. 3 months. By now, most people were convinced that the game was abandoned. They had made their money. It's all over.
That's what it seemed like, man. I remember this shit.
After over 100 days of absolute silence, a tweet. Foundation. The first big patch. It is me, Sean. No, go away, Sean. I am mad at you. It has been too long. But I bring you gifts. His accent sucks. It brought base building, new game modes, farming, camps, and freighters, as well as a lot of bug fixes. You will have to try harder than that, Sean, to win my love back. It still fell well shy of the promised game. Too little, too late. So Sean left, returned to his team, and got back to work.
Yeah, they just keep adding shit, man.
Few
That's
more
just all you
months
gotta
went
do.
by.
I mean, they handled this well compared to what a lot of other developers would do. Looking at you, Bethesda. Still didn't play this game though. Still wouldn't buy it.
What the fuck? Oh, it's you, Sean. I bring you online base sharing, own multiple starships, starship specialization, multi-tool specialization and classes, permadeath modes, vehicles you can drive around in, and create racetracks for them too with time trials. Look at that. Okay, that's pretty good, but I'm still mad, and there's still a ton promised that isn't in the game yet. So Sean went away once more. A few more months went by. A knock knock. Oh, it's you, Sean. What is it now? I bring you an overhaul to the storyline. New worlds, crashed freighters, space combat, terrain editing, portals, procedural mission system, interstellar trading, and joint exploration. By now, people were really starting to warm to No Man's Sky again, and to Hello Games.
The game has in many ways exceeded what was promised.
It's a substantially better game now.
No Man's Sky is back, baby!
People saw this as an honest effort to fix the game, and the number of employees working on it was growing, from a studio of 15 to 25. Sean Murray and Hello Games social media also started becoming more active and engaging with the audience. The subreddit was flourishing once more. The price of the game secondhand on Amazon, eBay, and GameStop was going up. Then a few more months went by. Next, a really big patch.
Damn, that's fatty patch.
Oh my god. Holy shit! I just got goosebumps.
To be super clear, No Man's Sky is not fuck that. Here's the full and proper multiplayer experience.
Good on ya.
Ringed planets.
Good on you,
third-person
boys.
mode, character customization.
The game that
a
you always
galactic
wanted.
atlas on an external website for the community. Vast overhauls to base building and crafting and resources. And it also brought the game to
It literally is
Xbox.
Minecraft in
fact,
space.
With the release of Next in July 2018, No Man's Sky was the 6th top-selling console game for the month. It climbed its way back into Steam's top 10. It reached nearly 100,000 concurrent players. It brought another $24 million across all platforms. Their Steam rating went from mixed to very positive. People were getting back on board in a big way. But they weren't done yet.
Amazing.
Better
Amazing.
tools, weird underwater shit. Discoveries in bases and environments and equipment. And it keeps going. New biomes, more diversity, archaeology, more things to discover. By now, Sean and the gaming inspector, personification of the gaming community, had literally patched things up and were making out on the couch. Which was when he released his biggest patch to date of this video.
Oh my god, it's huge!
Free VR support. Not a whole other game you have to pay for, like some titles.
Oof.
Overhauls to NPCs, tech trees, base building, streamlined
Call out, boys.
multiplayer, ride animals around. All sorts of stuff that was never promised in the first place. And they're still adding more stuff.
Someone at Valve, who was a fan of the game, said to me, what you do now is more important than what you say. There's only one thing that's credible, and that's your actions.
In fact, I was so slow to get this video out that they put out another patch the other day. With ship salvaging, ship upgrading, more advanced terrain editing, first-person exocross, improved VR, improved base building and inventory management, and quality of life stuff. It goes on. Is it perfect? Technically, there are still things on this spreadsheet missing. But come on now, we're starting to nitpick. Especially when you compare them to relationships with other games companies.
This is what I was
They
curious
could have
about.
gone the route of Fallout 76.
Yup.
Paywall mods
That's what I
of
was saying,
Fallout
dog.
First, charging a monthly fee, a downward spiral, more
They
and
did it the
more
right
into
way.
pay-to-win scraps
The
released
right way.
without QA testing. But instead, they never added pay-to-win. They never added microtransactions or paid DLC. They never made VR as a second game. They didn't give up on the game or scale their resources back to do it.
Yep.
They didn't come out and call all gamers entitled. They didn't add loot boxes. They didn't start work on the next big project or sequel. They didn't do much of anything except get back to work.
They just made the game good. It's crazy, right? It's fucking
And
crazy.
just like that, the game once panned by critics now had awards rolling in.
Your developed star 2019, No Man's Sky, Sean Murray.
No Man's Sky next.
No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky's next.
No Man's Sky.
Yeah, I was
And
wondering if
cap
he's
it
going to
all
compare
off,
it to 76
the subreddit
because
No Man's Sky the game
Pretty crazy,
even
man.
got together and pooled money for a GoFundMe to
Aw.
have a billboard installed near the Hello Games offices. It must have been a harrowing moment for Sean and the team.
the redemption story, man.
They took a
You all,
huge
everyone
risk
loves
to
a
start
redemption story,
small
dog.
studio. They clawed their way up to create one of the most notable games of the console generation. Disappointed pretty much everyone with the release, and took one of the biggest online beatings in video game history for it.
As a family, post-release, we faced some really difficult challenges. Everything that you can imagine from like the worst of the internet, we hit.
But then over the course of the next 3 years, completely turned it around and came out the other side with a win. It's the underdog story. And after doing all of this research, I couldn't help but come to the conclusion that they were the good guys. So what is the future for Hello Games? In 2017, they announced Hello Labs. a support program focused on original titles and games using procedural generation. Two of the team also branched off to work on a small title called The Last Campfire. But for the foreseeable future, they're just working on No Man's Sky. Alright, I didn't want to finish the video on like a big sappy note. So, this is the end of the story, but there's still another few minutes. Don't leave, it's not an ad. Okay, in 2015, when the hype was at its peak, someone wrote a Sean Murray erotic fanfiction. And
oh goodness, here we
naturally,
go.
I assumed that you lot would want to see it. So, here it is. My evening interview at Hello Games.
Oh,
I arrived
goodness.
at the Hello Games office in the early
What?
evening
What
as
the?
the sun
What
was
is
approaching
this?
the horizon.
What are we getting into?
Taking a deep breath, I nervously pressed the doorbell.
Oh, I don't know if I can watch
The door
this.
opened, and Sean poked his expressive face out to greet me. "Hey you," he exclaimed in his adorable British-Australian accent. "I'm so happy you could make it and spend the evening with us." "I was so happy when I heard you agreed to let me come in for an interview," I said. "Oh yeah, the interview. I forgot," he replied with his usual brilliant humor. I laughed.
Oh, it hurts,
"It's funny,
dude.
Sean. Let me show you my office." "I have a
Oh, it
surprise for you,"
hurts,
Sean
guys.
said. He led me to the room where we sat down on a soft vinyl couch. "So let me show you the surprise," he said, softly. "It's the newest build of the game. We just added some new features." He booted up the game on a PS4 in his office. I stared at his face. I like your beard. It's sexy," I pretended to say to him in my head to myself. I had a secret crush on him. There was something about his humble demeanor and feeble yet handsome bone structure that was so alluring. "So here's the game," he said eagerly. It opened on an alien world just calling out to be explored. I began to sweat. Here it finally was, in front of me in all of its glory, and it was being played by Sean in front of me in all of his glory. I nervously spoke. "Could I try playing?" I said. "Oh, I suppose, of course," he said, chuckling. But another few minutes passed without him handing me the controls. "Sean," I said more confidently. I put my hands on his hands as he gripped the controller. He looked me straight in the eyes. I stared deep into his beautiful, glistening eyes, utterly transfixed. "Sure," he said. He let go of the PlayStation controller, still sweaty from his firm grip. "But I have another surprise to show you." He stood up. My
Redacted.
"Yes, please," I said, blushing as red as
Oh
the treetops of Area 5. He grabbed my shoulders, guiding me confidently towards the coffee table, like he confidently guides the Hello Games team towards the game's release. The one true Sean Murray, not that baby-faced loser asshole poser from NCIS. Made sweet, sweet love to me. I wasn't sure what I was more excited about.
What the fuck?
Finally,
Redacted.
Sean Murray, all finally playing No Man's Sky.
Oh my god.
After exploring the planet's surface, I entered my spaceship and took off. Just as I left the atmosphere and burst into the breathtaking expanse of space.
Redacted.
It was an out-of-world experience.
Wow. Thank you for that. Thank you. Wow.
Oculus Rift support, he uttered sensually. As I turned, I saw Sean's avatar standing before me in a beautiful, procedurally generated spacesuit.
No.
"Like what you see," he said. "It's time, everybody," he shouted. I heard footsteps slowly enter from the cramped office. I soon saw many spacesuits appear before me in-game. But as they took off their helmets,
It was all
I
Sean's.
realized that they were all the same Sean Murray avatar. I was about to be
Redacted.
by a group of Sean Murrays, but they all had one difference. The big
Redacted.
each piece
Redacted.
was different. There were wide ones, thin ones, long ones, curved ones. It was magical. As the Hello Games team began to
Redacted.
from somewhere in the room, I heard Sean whisper, "Every
Redacted.
procedural." Also, I did a thing on the second
Wow.
channel. Please do check it out. I thought it was quite good. I love videos on the second channel. It's some erotic fan fiction over there. So why not check it out? And that's it. Sorry it took so long.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. What do we even say, man? What do we even say? I think thank you is probably a good place to start. Thank you, Internet Historian, for that amazing ride, that bumpy ride for sure. That video was great, as always. Dude's content is so fucking good, like, for real. So, comment, like, subscribe, check the stuff, all the things down below. Original Internet Historian video, link below as well. Peace, love, see you later.